Hi, my name is Susan, part of the Edsu team here in MTU Kerry.
Thanks, Susan. My own name is Laura and I'm also working in Edsu. I'm going to take you through some of our Edsu objectives and some of the content we have created and the ways of contacting Edsu. Then I will pass you back to Susan and she will cover our final scheduled exams process, the launch of Ask Blackboard and some information on accessibility. Edsu, the e-learning development support unit of MTU Kerry, has three main objectives. Design, develop and support the delivery of blended and online courses for a variety of clients, including private industry and educational providers. The second objective is to promote digital literacy of supported tools among MTU Kerry staff. And our third objective is to provide front-end administration for Blackboard. This is MTU Kerry's learning management system. While these were always the main objectives of the Edsu office, during emergency remote teaching, we had to quickly adapt the way we approached our day-to-day work. And this was really challenging with a small team trying to help out a large number of academic staff with a growing demand for support and training. Throughout emergency remote teaching, we ran a number of synchronous training sessions for all staff, and that covered topics such as Collaborate Ultra, Blackboard Basics, Turnitin assignments, MCQs or tests, the Grade Centre, discussion boards and announcements. And we also ran sessions on approaches to increasing engagement and interactivity in an online classroom environment. And where applicable, those sessions were recorded and they're available to watch at any time through Collaborate Ultra within our Edsu Training Resources module on Blackboard. We also developed asynchronous content for all of those topics that I just mentioned. But in order to suit different learning styles, for most of the content, we developed a printable guide and a video guide. And between the asynchronous and the synchronous content, we were really aiming to create a standard use of the LMS so that students would have a consistent experience across modules. In some cases, we used a flipped classroom approach, where we asked staff to view asynchronous content in advance of holding a synchronous Q&A session. Throughout emergency remote teaching, we had three main modes of contact. Whilst working from home, emails became our primary mode of contact, and over 90% of the emails we received were responded to within 5 minutes. And these emails also gave us an insight into some of the most frequently asked questions, and that allowed us then to build on our existing library of content. We also ran multiple weekly drop-in sessions where staff could pop into Collaborate Ultra and ask us any questions. These drop-ins also gave staff a platform to discuss real-life scenarios and solutions between us, but more importantly, between each other. And in turn, that created a sense of community. Between these drop-in sessions and the training we mentioned earlier, throughout emergency remote teaching, we actually ran over 100 synchronous sessions. To ensure we covered all of our bases, in the case of emergencies, we provided phone support. And for example, if an issue arose during the live class, we would support the lecturer in solving that problem. I'm now going to pass you back over to Susan, who's going to start us off with our final scheduled exams process.
As part of emergency remote teaching, all final scheduled exams were moved online and were broken into two types: open book examinations and online MCQ tests. Training resources and guidelines were developed for both staff and students to ensure a streamlined and reliable approach was taken. This also took academic integrity into consideration. We also went into each module that had a final scheduled exam to check that the setup was correct. If not, we took steps to ensure that it was. This meant that during the exams, we limited the number of issues that a student could face. After each FES process had finished, we conducted an analysis to determine that the process could be improved and how the workload could be minimised for academic staff. With each iteration, we managed to reduce the steps that staff had to take by around 50%. We also reduced the student contact rate during exams by over 40%. As we are continuously aiming to improve, on the 14th of October we launched Ask Blackboard, in order to bridge the gap in online support available to students. This is a resource that students can use if they are having technical difficulties with Blackboard. So far, we have seen a positive response to this new service, as Blackboard will also be used to help share relevant resources with students. Going forward, we plan to run more accessibility sessions. With about 15% of the world's population living with some form of disability, these people are immediately excluded if we do not consider accessibility. As a result of the shift to online learning, the need to create accessible, inclusive content has been increased. This, along with the recent EU Web Accessibility Directive, means that accessible content is no longer just a bonus. It is a requirement for all public sector bodies to ensure that their websites and web content are accessible to persons with disabilities. We previously held a number of synchronous training sessions and created asynchronous material to help educate and upskill staff on the importance of accessibility, along with the steps that can be taken to create accessible content. While this is a highly complex area, we endeavour to ensure that we ourselves create fully accessible content. We also strive to create guidelines and procedures to help other staff create accessible content, ensuring a barrier-free, inclusive learning experience for everyone. We hope that this presentation gave you an insight to what we do here in the Edsu office. Thank you for watching. Our contact details can be found below.